Do you ever wonder why you see this mid-white chick in a bed with Drake, millions of views, and only half a dozen episodes of her podcast? This chick, Bobbi Althoff, will be the new subject of our series 304 Wifey to predetermine if, you know what, is this girl worth committing to, or is she a free nut, or is she not even there, okay? We have recent examples that have broken the scale, folks. Frankly, we gotta get to the bottom of this. And we're gonna start off with the age, because as you guys know, I was born in 2003, I'm a baby, but we're gonna be talking from the standpoint of a 30-year-old man, somebody who's not as cool as me. Let's think of a millennial guy, 30 years old, and we're talking about a girl who's 26, okay? Pretty ancient, folks. So we're gonna go ahead and break it down verbatim. So we're going to break down how she got her clout in the first place, because it's kind of evident that she has a lot of it for no reason. If you look at her YouTube channel right off the bat, you're going to notice that she has 700,000 subscribers. And again, this is with 12 videos out, okay? And her whole gimmick is that, it's like a reverse pick-me, where a pick-me traditionally is someone who will basically try to solicit positive attention by acting like a guy, or more so trying to appeal to what a guy's sensibilities are, but in a way that is kind of crass and not hot. And it just makes it blatantly kind of uncomfortable, you know? Whereas with this girl, it's the opposite, where she's like the emo chick. She's like the girl that is not like the other ones, but she really is just a basic white chick at the end of the day. At least that's what my perception is. I've seen 2 of her podcasts at this point. God bless me for putting up with that. But the point is that this girl is just one of these chicks that is awkward, kind of stilted, very dry humor. I don't know if you'd call it Jewish, but it's like definitely something that the average like hillbilly does not exposit. This is definitely like an urbanite, Starbucks. Like, I'm a douche and I like it. I'm like, she's like Kirsten Stewart from Twilight. That's a good example. And that's a great series, by the way. The movie Twilight, it's great. All right. So again, look at these sort of titles. This is what we're working with. Tyga, who's a rapper, right? It's random. It's awkward. What does that even mean? And then Mark Cuban, who's the owner of the Mavericks and from Shark Tank, okay? And for that reason, I'm out. What? And then Lil Yachty, who's a rapper. I'm carrying your conversations on your own podcast. Again, very like surrealist meta sort of conversations being had in the titles. So you can kind of tell what her gimmick is like reverse pick me. And then again, the title of her podcast is The Really Good Podcast, which is like, imagine if my channel was the very metrosexual Mexican. It's like, you know, like, okay, kind of accurate, but not really. Because again, really good podcast, not very accurate. Metrosexual, not exactly the case. Maybe I'm a little flamboyant, but everybody tends to like that. Anyhow, so again, she had a Drake podcast that she deleted with like 15 million views. Let's see what her story is like, though. She has 2 million followers on Instagram. Kind of crazy, boys. Let's see what her first post was. This was a year ago. So she's pregnant again, so new mother. And she's a comedian. Again, female comedian. There's a very, very short list. Like, we're talking midget, like, short list of people that are funny and females, right? Just come on. So already not good. Look at this. So she took a photo shoot with her baby daddy or something. Okay, so this is not the best looking guy. This is not the best looking girl. And again, I'm not even talking about her body yet, but I mean, this is not the worst. But if you look at her in the Drake video, she's nothing special. Here, she clearly has some boobs. Then again, she's like a lactating mother, so they're not going to be this good forever. And she's in her mid-20s, so it's only going down from here. But okay, I mean, granted, now, I mean, it's looking pretty good. I mean, as of recently, we've not been blessed in the boob department. Definitely not had any, like, this big in, like, over a year. But this is definitely awesome. So I'll give her credit for that. She also does have small arms. She is somewhat petite. She looks like she's 5'4" max, which is attractive. Obviously, you know, at least for me, I want a taller girl, but that's because we need to compensate for having below average to average height. So that, I mean, that's going to be the case, right? Anyhow, not bad. Now, face-wise, nothing special. I mean, she looks like a guidance counselor at a church. She looks like if you had a youth pastor in his 30s that's married to his 25-year-old wife, and her name were, let's say, McKenna Smith, that would be what I picture. Okay, so nothing too special here right now. So that last pic, I mean, she's kind of wholesome. She kind of has like a roundish face. She's not hot per se, but also the boobs help a lot. So also what I do appreciate is that she had a kid less than a year ago, and she's still pretty tight, which is great. That's somewhat of an impressive thing. But if you look at her resting, look at her face. She looks kind of like disconnected. Like, she looks like she just got taken advantage of by her father, and that does hit close to home for a lot of the viewers of the show. But it's like, I'm joking, by the way. But I mean, again, with the black guy, not cute. Like, I don't know what to think. Also, this girl's like, again, this outfit is very flattering. I'll give her credit. This is like not that whorish, but it's also really nice. And what I find odd is that she has a huge clearance between her collarbone and where her cleavage starts. There's like a good 7 inches there of distance. I've never seen that in the girl. I'm assuming her tits sag tremendously, which is odd. And her face just kind of looks like Jewish. It kind of looks like it looks like it was made out of porcelain, kind of like Justinian era, like if you had to imagine the cold, dejected, molested wife of like a Roman emperor circa 200 AD. This is like what I'm thinking of, right? Like if Caligula had a side piece, it'd be that. So it's kind of odd. I mean, does she have much of a like? I don't. This is not really appealing. She's kind of petite, and again, am I the biggest connoisseur of white women? Actually, I'm a big fan, but it's like this is not. I don't know, man. What about this outfit? What do we think of this? Her knees. I mean, she's just kind of white for me, frankly. But again, that's up to you. That's subjective. Um, but like the fact that she's getting interviews on the Today Show or whatever, just because she interviewed Drake, is just kind of appalling because there's people that are way more talented than her, that are way behind her in regards to success, and it's somewhat pissing me off in respect to that because again, people are way more talented and deserve way better than this, but she's the one that gets the clout. It's kind of sad. But anyway, what's this? This is provoking my attention. Okay, so a ton of makeup here, eating on like this crappy stove. In what situation would a girl be around such a disgusting stove, right? And not even like disgusting as in dirty, but like so old. Like this is like her mother's age of like a stove, right? This is like a 1972 stove. What's up with that? In this sort of outfit, I've never seen this. Now, I will give her credit, like I said, for her to just have had a kid a year ago and for her to be this tight is really abnormal and great. But aside from that, like, okay, babe, like, why are you wearing this? It's like very slutty. I disavow that. You're a mother. And also, what's kind of gross is her stomach being an outie. Like her belly button's an outie, and it's like somewhat weird. It's weird. I don't know what to think of it. And then moreover, when you're looking at her lack of hips, like she has no butt. Like it's so skinny. She's kind of built like an 11-year-old girl at that point. And that's not the best. I will be honest about that. And then here, again, no hips. Again, the boobs are fine, but no hips. And then here, just imagine you're groping her in the balcony or something like that. Consensually. TOS. Anyway, so you're grabbing onto her. What am I grabbing exactly? We don't know yet. Yeah, again, nothing special here. Let's go on. She's at the Drake concert. So she's at the Drake concert and she's saying really in my element at this guy's concert. So she's trying to act like, oh, Drake isn't this big deal. So that's just not even funny. That's just you being a nasty woman, right? So Drake is a simp, infamous simp, right? This guy spends money. You know what? You be relatively close to me on the stage in a concert in Memphis, Tennessee or wherever. And you're going to say, oh, I'm at this guy's concert. I don't give a fuck. Look at me. I'm so special. That is just stupid. It's not funny. Like, clearly, you would suck the skin off his dick. And I bet you she has, actually. So it's like, hello? So just completely stupid. And then when you look over here, she posted on TikTok as of 2021 with this black guy. Look, there's nothing wrong with that. But it's also, if I picture my wife, and I'm thinking about her right now, and her grandiosity, and we're thinking about our future wife, folks, and we're saying, is she ever in a video with a black guy with a fucking do-rag and, like, beads? That's weird. Like, why even have the beads? It's, like, very sus. We don't know what to think about this. So, she's married. Again, married. And she did a podcast when she was in bed with Drake, and we can all assume that he hit it, too. But, her husband's a white guy. White people, can we get it together, please? White people, can you get it together? Because it's like mostly white people, Adam 22. And it's mostly brown or black people doing the cucking too, which is kind of embarrassing. So get your act together, white race, please, because it's not looking good. So anyhow, so she's a big whore for doing that. And again, I understand, Drake gets a lot of clout. You're going to want your wife to succeed. But it's also, if you're Bobby's husband, why aren't you the famous one? How is it your wife that's not talented, who's mid, who's getting all the fame? It really isn't a fair society we're living in, okay? So the West has fallen, folks. She has 2 children. Again, credit to you, Bobby, for being so tight after 2 kids. But at the same time, she says that her daughter's name is Concrete. You named your daughter Concrete. Why? Again, this is like, pick me. I'm a special white girl. Love me. No, you're stupid. Like, it's bad enough you have somebody named Lalo, which is like a really weird name, but it's a great name. And you're going to go ahead, take a step into the great beyond and say, my name is Concrete. 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 Hello, Concrete. What? That is so stupid. So again, she starts her podcast and like her boobs are like so far down. Like, isn't that kind of odd, folks? And her skin is kind of white and it's like a little bit too pale. And what she needs is a little bit of my melanin. I'll donate to you, girl. I'll give you a good 10 to 20 percentile of my brownness. I will give to Bobbi as a charitable gift, and I'll do that for 10 grand. All right. So again, look at this outfit. She's going for an aesthetic, right? Like the too big for her sort of coat over her. I'm all cozy. Again, this is like a simp sort of thing where they're trying to lure these men into a false sense of like, oh, this girl's just like my friend, you know. This girl's like wholesome. She's not getting piped down by Lil Yachty. She's not getting piped down by Tyga or Drake. It's like, bro, she's married, talking to these like 6 foot black guys. You know, it's like kind of reflexively weird. Again, I guess there's technically nothing wrong with that, but I mean, we can all read between the lines about the scenario here. Okay, so, anyways, that's that. Now we're gonna be looking at her age again. Born July 31st, 1997. So, I mean, she's in her prime, I suppose, but it's also not ideal, right? Like, ideal would be born 2003, born 2004, born 2002. Not this idea of born 1997. If it starts with the 9, it's not ideal, frankly, folks. So, I mean, take that as you will. If you're a 30-year-old guy, I guess that's up your ballpark, but I mean, not for me. But, you know, alas, again, tens of millions of views on her TikTok. Why does she deserve that? Nothing. What has she done for the movement? And by the movement, I mean, like, anything funny. You can see her pregnant, which is a turnoff, right? Anyway, the point is that she has nothing special going on. And so, at this point, and then this is the sort of thing that people are talking about. Drake and this podcaster were unlikely friends. Now fans think they're feuding. Really? This is what people are writing about today. And the author's name is Leah Veloso. Bro, why are Latinos writing about this? First of all, I'm surprised you can type in English, but then now you're talking about a podcaster. And it's one thing that I'm talking about it because I'm making fun of her because she sucks. But it's like, really? Really? This? Anyhow. So this is going to be a shorter video. Basically, my point is that when the verdict comes down to 304 or Wifey, this girl is clearly a 304. She is the type of girl to be married to this innocent-looking white guy, push over like usual, and this millennial is going to let his wife, and she is going to partake in a podcast with Drake where she's going to be laying in bed, just, you know, drinking alcohol with him, negging him and flirting in a way that is like very obvious. I can tell, and I'm like this like fresh out of high school baby, and I can still tell. What the Riz was, folks. So you let a guy with painted fingernails, such as Drake, who I like, but it's still kind of gay. Anyway, you let this guy in bed with your wife in the podcast, and I would show the podcast, but I don't feel like it. I'm lazy. I'm a Mexican. It's antithetical to my existence, but folks, here it is. Basically, the point is that they're in bed. I would never let my wife do that. Now, again, for the Drake clout, it might be worth it, but she deleted the video. I don't know why. And then she does all these like videos with these rappers. Is that trad? Would I let my wife do that? I don't really think so. And, you know, she's doing these TikToks and her TikToks suck. And it's like, bro. So not only do you, like, if you were to wife up this girl, not only is she an e-girl, like she has internet celebrity, which is usually a bad thing. But second of all, it's like, bro, like, do you think Drake didn't hit it? Do you think these other guys didn't hit it? I'm pretty sure they did, frankly. And moreover, even if they didn't, people have the impression that they did have sex with her, which is like gross. That's cucked. So first of all, you do not want to marry this girl off of that alone. Another point would be that her tits are kind of far apart and they're not going to be that big forever as far as I know. Another thing would be that her social media only goes back to 2021. So we don't know what she was like in college. We don't know what she was like in high school. We don't know, folks. We have no idea what the body count would be. It's just really strange. And could I stalk her on Facebook? Maybe I could. I don't really care, though. So we're going to let that slide. And so right now the verdict is looking like a complete 3 or 4 and like one of the stronger ones, too, because and also her personality is off-putting. There's a lot of girls that are fundamentally molested, not even literally, but just like generally in the brain. They're like, something's wrong with them. I don't even know what the Freudian psychology would be in this case, but they're just generally really I would say just utterly weird. Like they want to seek attention, but in a way that is not going to scorn them or burn them. So they have like a sort of like, and in Arizona we call these horny lizards. Horny lizards. They're like these scaly lizards that will project and spit blood on you, venom on you, to not like because they're scared, they're insecure, they're a defensive species of lizard. And that's basically her. Her personality is off-putting. It's like, oh, I'm gonna nig this attractive rapper that's next to me because I'm this pick me, and it's like disgusting. And it's like, I know you want me, so let's not play hard to get. Okay, let's just get to the point. But she's a tease. That's the problem. The way to dumb it down is at the end of the day, Bobbi's a tease, and she's not worth it. And what do I rate her out of 10? Right now, at face value, obviously her boobs aren't going to be that big after you get the milk out. But let's just assume she's going to look like that forever. I rate her boobs like an 8 because, they are a little bit far apart and they do sag a little bit. So we're going to give them an 8, but otherwise they're great. 8 out of 10. Face is like a 6, maybe 5, 6. All right. And then her butt is like a 5. In some videos, it looks big, but I mean, you look at the hips. I mean, it's not looking great, okay? The hips to waist ratio is not looking fantastic. So from that, we're going to go 6 in the face, 8 in the breast. That's 14, plus 5 in the butt. That's 19. 19 divided by 3 in the Lalo attractiveness calculator is going to bear you out with a 6.3 out of 10. Hold up. Let's do the quick maths. 16 divided by 3 is 5. Wait. Hold up. I gave her 6 in the face. I gave her 8 in the boobs, 14 plus 18. Okay. She gets a 6 out of 10 in attractiveness. So the verdict is she's a 6 out of 10 in attractiveness, but her personality is a 2. Her e-celebrity and all that is like a 1. And she's off-putting as a person. For that verdict, if you're a 30-year-old man that's looking for a trad wife, if you're a Christian guy, do not date her. And if you're somebody like Drake, who doesn't really care about the trad aspect, but you want a girl that's not ran through, who's not going to be a stuck-up little bitch all the time, then you want to look over this chick, okay? So paper that over. Verdict is 304, 100%. Bobbi Althoff, it's over, bros. She's an industry plant, and she sucks.